Well, good afternoon. As thousands and thousands of people in Ontario get back to work, get back out into their communities, as we get the economy going again, we need to give people confidence and peace of mind. We need to make sure that people have the confidence to re-engage with the economy, the confidence to get out and shop at local stores, the confidence to get back on public transit. We need folks to have the confidence to get back to work. And that means ensuring we have the necessary hospital capacity. It means rebuilding our PPE stockpiles. It means keeping the testing numbers as high as they have been. And it means putting in necessary workplace safety measures, because nobody wants to see our economy up and running more than I do. But we have to get it right. The worst thing we could do is rush into reopening. Health and safety must come first. Over the past few weeks, we've taken steps to build the necessary confidence that will help everyone prepare, adapt, and get our economy going again. That means giving employers confidence that they have what they have and can open their doors. They also means giving workers confidence, and we have to give customers confidence. And that's how we will get our economy roaring once again. And as more regions are set to enter stage 2 this Friday, we're going to make it even easier for businesses to inspire that confidence where it matters most. Today, I'm proud to announce the release of a new toolkit, the COVID-19 Safety Plan Guide. This toolkit builds on many supports we have already provided to businesses to help them prepare for reopening, including over 133 sector-specific workplace safety guidance documents. This toolkit will help give businesses, employees, and customers and consumers the confidence they need to resume business as usual. It will help businesses identify risks, take steps to make their workplace safe, and help them develop their own tailored safety plan. This is about giving businesses and owners the tools and resources they need to adapt and succeed in this new reality, and giving their employees and customers the confidence they need to keep supporting businesses as they reopen. And it's up to all of us, it's up to everyone to support our local businesses during these difficult times. So let's take pride in our incredible Ontario small businesses and manufacturers. Let's support local by Ontario, because we have the best of the best right here in Ontario. So let's all shop local this summer, plan your vacation at one of our incredible Ontario destinations, and together we will support each other through this. My friends, we're all in this together. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. Now I'll pass it over to Minister McNaughton.
Well, thank you very much, Premier. Good afternoon, everyone. As we safely and gradually reopen the province, businesses are finding new ways to operate safely while protecting workers and customers in the era of COVID-19. Some are already open. Others are getting ready to open. Our government understands that everyone is finding new ways to do things, and that's not always easy. We all want to ensure businesses can operate safely. Nothing is more important than the well-being of the workers in our province. Everyone deserves to come home safely after a hard day's work. So far, we have posted 133 sector-specific guidance documents at ontario.ca/COVID safety. But that doesn't mean we're going to rest on what we have done. The people of Ontario certainly haven't, and neither should we. We're going to continue to provide new resources with the most up-to-date information, to provide business owners and workers with the confidence that we can all get back to work safely. Our first in Ontario General Workplace Guidance document is an important step. This guidance document and associated template will allow employers to create their own safety plans for their specific workplaces. For example, some workplaces will implement engineering controls by installing plexiglass to separate workers from customers. Others will put administrative controls in place, like restricting the number of workers in a space at any one time. Just as our regional plan recognized that every community has had a different experience with COVID-19, every workplace is different, and the safety plan they come up with will reflect that reality. As more businesses and services prepare to reopen on Friday, we must work together to help prevent the spread of COVID-19 and help ensure workers of this province are safe and healthy. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to the phone line for questions.
Just before, I want to apologize. I know people usually see us at 1 o'clock, but today and tomorrow the legislature is sitting, and at 1 o'clock all the bells go off, so we had to bump this forward, but we'll be back on schedule Thursday at 1 o'clock to continue. I also want to give a shout out. You see the testing numbers. They've been doing great, absolutely fabulous. And I got to give a shout out to someone that I haven't given a shout out to, is Dr. Dirk Heyer. You know, Dr. Heyer is heading up the testing strategy, and he's been working incredibly hard. And you can see himself and Matt Anderson and the chief medical officers. You've all been doing a great job, and everyone calls you Dirk. So, Dr. Dirk, thank you. You're an absolute champion. You're doing an incredible job, and the people of Ontario appreciate that work you're doing. So we'll start off with the questions here.
Okay, we'll go to first question.
First question comes from Allison Jones from the Canadian Press. Please go ahead.
Hi, Allison.
Hi, Premier. I've got some questions about migrant workers for you. You've said that testing for them is not mandatory for the workers themselves or for the farms that they work on. You suggested yesterday you needed to get permission from the farmers. Why is that, and does that hinder your ability to contain farm outbreaks?
Well, I'll tell you, I just got off the phone not even probably less than an hour ago with the largest employer in the Essex area, all the growers down there. So I'll explain. There's 8,000 workers in the Windsor-Essex area. So far, we've tested 724 workers. We've put a testing unit right in the heart of the community. And right now, we can't force anyone to get a test. We're encouraging them to get a test. And the cooperation between the farmers and the migrant workers, it's absolutely critical. And I got to tell you, Allison, these farmers, their number one priority is to make sure their workers are safe. As the person I spoke to on the phone, he's saying, I'm sparing no expense to make sure they're safe, who also put in $15 million to help the farmers with PPE and other areas that they need it. But we have the testing there. We just have to give the farmers and the workers confidence to come out and get tested. I want as many people tested as possible, and then we help them out with all the guidelines. And what I'll do is I'll hand it over to Minister McNaughton, and he can run through all the guidelines. But the farmers are working hard. The migrant workers are working hard. We just need everyone to, and public health is working hard. We just have to get everyone over and get them tested, as many as possible. And I understand the farmers are nervous, the workers are nervous. They get tested, they don't get paid. So we're doing everything we can to make sure we connect everyone together. I'm not going to point the finger at one area, but I'll pass it over to Minister McNaughton.
Good afternoon, Allison. The Premier is right. Agricultural workers play a key part in Ontario's economy. They're the reason why we have food on our plates every meal in Ontario. As a ministry, we are announcing today that every workplace in the province should develop a workplace safety action plan. Work with employers and employees to develop this plan so every worker can be protected from COVID-19. As a ministry, specifically when it comes to health and safety of workers, it's obviously our top priority. That's why in April, specifically on the agricultural issue and industry, we launched a blitz, and I'm proud to report today we've inspected 200 farms and agricultural places of work, and have issued 60 orders to improve health and safety conditions for workers in the agricultural sector in the province. Thanks.
Follow up.
Yes, back to the Premier. The federal government could use the Quarantine Act to set up and fund dedicated quarantine sites for workers. Have you asked them to do this or to take any other specific action to help on that?
I'll be speaking to them, and tomorrow or the next day I will mention it. But you know something, I want the cooperation of farmers and the workers. They're both great groups of people. They're just trying to do their job and get food on our tables. And you know, the person I just spoke to, he rattled off a whole wide range of things that they're doing to protect their workers.
Next question.
Next question comes from Mike Crawley from CBC News. Please go ahead.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Premier. Just continuing on with this question about migrant workers. You now have a situation where officials in Mexico say they are not going to send any more temporary foreign workers to Canada, and there would be several thousand more due to be coming over the course of the summer. What can you do to take some actions to reassure Mexico that it's actually safe for them to send workers here, given the number of infections that have been going on?
Well, there is a number of infections, Mike, but overall, if you look at the overall percentage, there's 11,000 in total, 8,000 in Windsor, Essex. There are outbreaks in certain areas, as the minister mentioned. We're sending inspectors in there, but nothing beats the cooperation of the farmers and the workers. Mike, I can't go and force anyone to go get tested. We need their cooperation. They're working hard, and we look forward to seeing more people getting tested. The testing is right in the heart of the growing area.
Follow up.
On another issue, Premier, quite a number of U.S. states have passed legislation giving immunity from civil litigation to organizations in relation to the spread of COVID-19. And in British Columbia, they've passed an executive order, an order in council, cabinet order, giving immunity from civil prosecution to essential workers and essential workplaces from being sued for the spread of COVID-19. Is this something that Ontario is considering doing?
Mike, we would consider it. We're sitting down as cabinet today and over the next few days, and we would consider that.
Next question.
Next question comes from Lucas Meyer from News Talk 1010. Please go ahead.
Hi, Lucas.
Thank you. Hi, Premier. I wanted to go over, we just saw recently more than a dozen employees test positive at our Home Depot in Richmond Hill. A colleague of ours was actually at a Mississauga Canadian Tire and noticed that very few were wearing masks. Obviously, some businesses have taken it upon themselves to have strict rules around masks and covering, but a lot of just recommendations. So I'm curious, if we see more and more examples of either outbreaks or just big amounts of people at some of these big box stores, you know, a Costco, for example, would the government be prepared to mandate masks and face coverings in some of these businesses for both employees and customers? Would you do that?
Well, what I'm going to do, I just actually heard about this before I walked in. I saw the news. I will be reaching out to the president of Home Depot Canada, speaking to him and making sure that if he needs any support from our government, we'll give him the support. But regarding the mandating a mask, I'll pass it over to the Minister of Health.
The guidance and recommendations we've received so far from the Chief Medical Officer of Health, as well as the other public health experts at the command table, is that the physical distancing is still the most important rule to follow, that we should continue to do that for the foreseeable future, and that masks should be worn in situations where that's not going to be possible, perhaps in public transit, perhaps in some retail establishments that are quite close, where it's impossible to achieve that physical distancing. But the physical distancing is the most important rule. The masking follows in situations where that's not possible. But you're right, a number of retailers have decided that they want masks to be worn. If people want to enter, then it's the retailer's right to do that. So it's not mandatory, it's recommended, again, as I said, where physical distancing can't be achieved.
I guess I'm just curious, either for the Minister or the Premier, if you would ever consider taking that step if we see spikes to keep it mandated. And if you could also, Premier, comment on this report about, and I'm sure you've seen it, about Ford reportedly scrapping production of the next generation Edge in Oakville, citing industry sources. I'm just curious if how much of that is on your radar and how concerned you are about, potentially another manufacturing hit to the province.
Yeah, so first of all, we want to work with the retailers. We don't want to force anyone to do anything. I highly, highly recommend when you go out, wear a face mask of some sort. It's as simple as that. You're going into a store, wear a face mask of some sort. I know two big retailers are asking people to wear them, or you aren't getting into the store. So I think that's a good policy. Regarding the Ford plant in Oakville and the automotive sector as a whole, absolutely it's concerning. We've been in contact with Ford today, and we're going to continue being in contact with them. We're going to be reaching out to Unifor as well. Right across the board in the automotive sector, we've given over $44 million to support the sector in all sorts of different research, from autonomous vehicles to a wide range of areas. So absolutely, when any line in the automotive sector is discontinued or moving down south, it concerns us. That goes back to my conversation yesterday about getting rid of regulations. So just until people understand, I'll use Ford because we're talking about it. Ford Motor Company has to go to headquarters in Dearborn and sell them why they should have another line up here in Oakville. And if we're competing against other U.S. plants or down in Mexico, we have to give them a reason to sell Ontario. And if they go in there and there's endless regulations and red tape and they can't get through it, and we don't create an environment to be competitive, then we're going to lose a lot of companies. But I don't intend on doing that. I intend on making sure we cut regulations, cut red tape, making sure we have an environment that the companies can thrive and prosper, so therefore the employees will thrive and prosper. There's over 4,000 employees out in Oakville that are relying on Ford getting another model to produce. So if it means me going down after these borders open up and and we can travel, and it might be a few months down the road, I'll be at the front door of the world headquarters for Ford, banging down their door, selling them why Ontario is the best place to manufacture cars anywhere in the world. We have some of the top manufacturers anywhere in the world, right here in Ontario. We have the best people in the world manufacturing cars right here in Ontario. I'll put our people up against anyone, anywhere in the world. We have the best here in Ontario.
Okay, next question.
Next question comes from Christine Elliott from CP24. Please go ahead.
Hi, Christina.
Hi, Premier. Hi, everyone. Thanks for taking my question. I know, Premier, you touched on this already, but more specifically, wondering what your response is to Markham Mayor Scarpitti's call to make masks mandatory in public places because of the concern that people from Toronto and Peel region, for example, will go to other regions like Markham who are moving into stage 2 on Friday. That's a specific request, mandatory masks.
So I'll be having a conversation with Mayor Scarpitti this afternoon regarding that. We have to encourage people, and I apologize, Christina. This is the reason we started early, because of the bells go off. But I'll be having that conversation, and I highly, highly recommend you go outside, and you're in large groups, you're in shopping centers, wear a mask. I think it's critical that you do that. But the police 14.5 million people would be very, very difficult. We just don't have the manpower for bylaw and police officers to be chasing people without masks. Everyone's been great. So let's continue moving forward. The numbers are going down, all because of the people of Ontario who followed the protocol.
Okay, we'll wrap it there. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry about the bells, everyone. That's the reason we start at 12:30. We'll see you tomorrow at 12:30 again. Thank you.